Approaching a woman at a social event or a gathering can be really nerve-wracking, but there are a few tips that can make it easier, so stay tuned. This is Linda G. Robert, your Back in the Groove Again coach. I'm here to help you live your best life now so that you can love what you do. Here are a few tips for you to help you manage those nerve-wracking moments when you want to approach a woman. The first thing is you want to start with eye contact. Before approaching a woman, make eye contact and smile. This shows that you're friendly and that you're approachable, and a woman likes a really nice smile. So you might want to start smiling before you start dating, because if smiling isn't your forte and you don't naturally smile, you might want to look in the mirror a few times and practice your smile. Might be a small smile. Might be a smile with teeth. You might want to ask your friends, what does this smile look like? Play around with it, but practice smiling with people beforehand, before you start dating. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the next tip. Now, I just mentioned eye contact. Why do you think it's so important to look at the person in their eyes, even from a distance? Well, that's because it does help to establish that connection, even before you start speaking with them. And then when you're looking at a woman in her eyes and she looks at you, it's like, oh, I think he's interested in me. That's what happens. It's pretty powerful. And then, of course, as you approach her, and you do continue to look at her eyes. I'm not talking about a stare. I'm just talking about a look in her eyes. And as you approach her and you get closer to her, you want to, of course, continue looking at her eyes. And if you're not comfortable looking directly in her eyes, look at the top of the forehead or look at the nose, because a woman can't tell if you're looking at their forehead or at her nose. They can tell if you're looking elsewhere, though, because your eyes are going to go lower. You want to keep it in this general direction. Very, very, very important. Another tip for you is to be confident. Now, I shared that in another video as well, but listen, this is a little bit different. Confidence is the key when you're approaching somebody that you're interested in. That means you got to walk with confidence. You want to walk up to the woman with purpose, and you want to introduce yourself. Speak clearly and confidently, and don't be afraid to show your personality. Right? Being confident shows that you're comfortable in your own skin, which is a really attractive quality. You might want to say, hi, I'm Johnny. It's really nice to meet you. What's your name? And you are, something really simple like that. Hi, I'm Joe. And she would probably say, oh, hi, Joe. I'm Linda. Nice to meet you. Then you want to start with some small talk, right? So small talk is great. It's a great way to break the ice and get the conversation going. So no matter the type of event it is, of course, if you're at a concert, it's really hard to engage in small talk. So you're not going to start small talking at a concert. But if you're at a social gathering, maybe you're at a business event of some sort, maybe you're at a picnic, a community picnic, whatever, and there's actually an opportunity to talk, you do want to start with some small talk. And a lot of it is really comments about the event. Wow, this is a really great picnic, isn't it? Or have you been to this picnic before? Something that's related to the event or something that's related to the gathering that you're at. If it's a business after 5 event, for example, you would make a comment, about that. Or you can simply ask her, how her day's been. How's your day been so far for you? The key is to keep it light, to keep it casual, at first, and to gradually move into deeper topics. Now, it might not be the right time to go into deeper topics. You have to determine, okay, I think we've talked enough about the venue. let's go on. You might have to do a judgment call on that one. You might have to say something like, I really like this kind of setting. I love picnics. How about you? How about you? Or I really enjoy going to these after business events. Do you enjoy going to them? You're trying to find common ground. Common ground is a really important part of building connection with someone. So lead into a conversation where you can find out more about her interests and about her hobbies and see if there's anything there that you do share in common. So that helps to create, a sense of shared experience and mutual interest. So, for example, if you are at a local picnic and you start saying something like, wow, this is a great picnic. Have you been here before? It's actually my first time. And then you would, wait until she responds and she might say, yeah, it's my first time too. And you might say, well, that's great. Um, have you tried some of the burgers? And maybe you find out that she doesn't like burgers because she's a vegetarian. So you want to ask some questions to get to know her a little bit more, but don't bombard her with questions. Ask a question and then stop, give her time to talk, right? Give her time to talk. And then you listen. You listen. Active listening is a key component of any successful conversation. So when you're speaking with the lady, with the woman, make sure you pay attention to what she is saying. And of course, respond accordingly. Your response needs to match what she's saying. Like if she's talking about the fact that this is her first time at the picnic, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, wow, take a look at what's going on over there. And you're not, it looks like you're not even paying attention to what she's saying. So it's your first time. Wow. What brought you here? Pay attention to what she's saying. Very, very important. And of course, the what brought you here, that's an example of a follow-up question or making a comment on her points. So listening carefully is very, very important. We call that listening actively, active listening. And the final suggestion is to respect her boundaries. It's important to respect a woman's boundaries when approaching her at a social event. If she seems uninterested or uncomfortable, don't push the issue or don't make her feel uncomfortable. Simply thank her for her time and move on. That's it. Like you might notice that she's looking away from you. Maybe she's looking at a friend and try to signal to her friend. Or maybe she's nervous. It's really hard to tell. So you don't want to move on like too quickly. You just hang on a little bit longer. But if she gives you the impression, and you might know right away that she's not interested in you, just say something like, it was really nice meeting you. Take care now. And you just move on. And it's okay because not everyone will be interested in talking with you. And not because you're a bad person, just because they're not interested. Don't make it about you. They are not interested. You are probably a really interesting guy. You will just go on, right? And maybe you'll see somebody else that you're interested in. Don't go to that next person right away. Just hang on. Because if you go to the next person right away, it gives the impression that you weren't really that interested in the first person to begin with. So wait a little while longer. Maybe chat with your friends or go chat with a person that you know before approaching another lady. Okay. If at all, you might not decide to go that route at all. So we know that approaching a woman at a social event or a gathering can be intimidating. But by following the tips that I've just shared with you and by keeping a positive attitude, you can make a great impression and potentially make a meaningful connection. So remember, and I'll repeat my tips here, remember to smile, right? Or start with an eye contact and smile and be confident when you approach the person. Start with some small talk and then find common ground. And you would do that by asking some very, questions about her interests. You would listen, try to find that common ground by asking her more questions that shows her that you're interested. And of course, by respecting her boundaries. If the person isn't interested in you simply say, it was really nice meeting you. Take care. And you just go on. This is Linda G. Robert. I am your Back in the Groove Again coach. I'm here to help you live your best life right now so you can love what you do. Subscribe to my channel and like this video. And I will be giving you more tips on dating women. And of course, I share a lot of other insights and tips as well. All right. Take care. Bye now.